In a village, where the sea meets the sand, in a splash of 1,000 colors, lived a girl named Nour. Her world was painted in the brilliant blues of the turquoise waters, and the vibrant pinks and oranges of the setting sun. But her brightest color was her friendship with Zizi, a small, wise-eyed sea turtle, who was more family than a pet. Every day was an adventure. They would race the playful waves. Build sandcastles tall enough to touch the clouds. And tell secrets to the whispering winds. Nour's laughter was the melody of the shore. And Zizi's steady presence was its rhythm. The bond between them was as deep and mysterious as the ocean they both loved. A silent promise to always look out for one another. One afternoon, as the sun began its slow descent, casting a golden glow over the village, Nour and Zizi were playing their favorite game of hide-and-seek, among the giant, moss-covered rocks that guarded the bay. The tide pools around them shimmered like scattered jewels, each one a tiny world of its own. Zizi, being a master of disguise, tucked himself into a small, dark opening at the base of a towering cliff. It looked like the perfect hiding spot. Nour counted, her voice echoing softly, ready or not, here I come. She searched behind every rock, and in every shallow pool, a smile playing on her lips, expecting to see Zizi's familiar head pop up any second. But as minutes turned into what felt like hours, the smile on Nour's face faded, replaced by a growing knot of worry in her stomach. The sun dipped lower, and the neon corals on the reef began to awaken, casting an ethereal, glowing light upon the water's surface. The tide was coming in, its gentle lapping against the shore growing stronger, more insistent. Zizi. Nour called out, her voice trembling slightly. Zizi, where are you? The game's over. Only the sound of the rising waves answered her. A chilling fear gripped her heart. She raced back to the cliff, where she'd last seen him, her bare feet pounding against the damp sand. She peered into the dark opening. It was a cavern, much deeper than it appeared, and the sound of rushing water from within was terrifying. Zizi was trapped. Nour could just make out his faint, distressed clicks, echoing from the darkness. He had swum too far in, and the rising tide was not only flooding the cavern, but also pushing a tangled mess of old, discarded fishing nets against the entrance, blocking his escape. Panic seized Nour for a moment, but then she looked at the churning water, at the dark maw of the cavern, and a fierce determination burned away her fear. She couldn't leave him, she wouldn't. She was his friend, and friends don't give up. Taking a deep breath, Nour scanned the beach, her eyes searching for anything that could help. Just then, a glint of light caught her eye. Half buried in the sand was a seashell, unlike any she had ever seen. It was shaped like a perfect spiral, and as she picked it up, it pulsed with a soft, warm, golden light, as if holding a captured star within its core. It felt warm to the touch, comforting, Pause holding the glowing shell aloft. Pause like a torch. Pause Nour knew what she had to do. Pause this small beacon of hope was her only guide. Pause she took one last look at the familiar, safe shoreline. Pause whispered a promise to Zizi that she was coming. Pause and plunged into the cold, swirling water. Pause at the cavern's entrance. Pause the world inside was a labyrinth. Pause of shimmering underwater tunnels. Pause the light from her shell danced across the rock walls. Pause revealing passages veined with glowing minerals. Pause and strange bioluminescent moss that pulsed in shades of electric blue and gentle lavender. Pause the water was cold. Pause and the currents were strong. Pause pulling at her. Pause trying to drag her deeper into the unknown. Pause but Nour held on tight. Pause her small body fighting against the powerful surge. Pause she swam through narrow gaps. Pause her heart pounding in her chest. Pause the glowing shell lighting her way. Pause the tunnels twisted and turned. Pause a beautiful yet perilous maze. Pause she could hear Zizi's clicks getting louder. Pause a desperate drumbeat guiding her forward. Pause finally, she rounded a corner. Pause and saw him. Pause Zizi was entangled in a ghost net. Pause a cruel web of plastic and rope. Pause pinned against a rock wall. Pause as the water level rose menacingly around him. Pause his eyes were wide with fear. Pause but they lit up with a spark of hope when he saw Nour. Pause wasting no time. Pause Nour began to work on the thick, stubborn knots. Pause her fingers, numb from the cold. Pause fumbled with the coarse rope. Pause the net was a tangled mess. Pause a puzzle designed by carelessness. Pause she pulled and twisted. Pause her breath held tight in her lungs. Pause the water was rising faster now. Pause swirling around her shoulders. Pause for a moment, she felt a wave of despair. Pause the knots wouldn't budge. Pause but then, she looked into Zizi's eyes. Pause she saw their first meeting. Pause the countless sunsets they'd shared. Pause the silent promises they'd made. Pause strength surged through her. Pause with a final, determined cry. Pause she pulled with all her might. Pause one knot came loose. Pause then another. Pause and another. Pause the net began to unravel. Pause slowly, carefully. Pause she freed Zizi from his plastic prison. Pause he was weak but free. Pause together, they turned to face the way back. Pause but the currents were now a raging torrent. Pause making the return journey seem impossible. Pause it was then that Zizi, Pause her wise friend, Pause gently nudged the glowing shell in Nour's hand. Pause he then swam to a part of the wall. Pause covered in the strange, pulsing moss. Pause and touched it with his nose. Pause as if in response. Pause the moss glowed brighter. Pause and a hidden current. Pause gentle and warm. Pause began to flow from a previously unseen passage. Pause it was a secret of the sea. Pause a shortcut known only to its oldest inhabitants. Pause trusting Zizi. Pause Nour followed him into the new tunnel. Pause the gentle current carried them effortlessly. Pause guiding them through a spectacular underwater gallery. Pause of glowing flora and fauna. Pause it was like swimming through a dream. Pause a river of liquid starlight. Pause they emerged. Pause gasping. Pause back into the open air of the bay. Pause just as the last sliver of the sun vanished below the horizon. Pause, the entire beach seemed to be waiting for them. Pause as they stumbled onto the sand. Pause, exhausted but safe. Pause, a magical sight unfolded. Pause, the neon corals of the reef blazed with an impossible brightness. Pause, the bioluminescent plankton along the shore pulsed in waves of celebratory light. Pause, creating a glowing carpet that stretched as far as the eye could see. Pause, the entire village seemed to glow in welcome. Pause, villagers, who had gathered in worry. Pause, cheered as they saw the brave little girl. Pause, and her turtle emerge from the sea. Pause, Nour holding the now softly glowing shell. Pause, hugged Zizi close. Pause, her tears of relief mixing with the salty spray of the ocean. Pause, she hadn't just saved her friend. Pause, she had become a true guardian of the shore. Pause, her bravery a story that would be told for generations. Pause, a legend as bright and enduring as the glowing beach itself. Pause.